Sowing is the process of planting seeds. An area or object that has had seeds planted will be described as being sowed. Plants which are usually sown. Among the major field crops, oats, wheat, and rye are sown. Grasses and legumes are seeded, and maize and soybeans are planted. In planting, wider rows are more used, and the intent is to have precise, even spacing between individual seeds in the row. Various mechanisms have been devised to count out individual seeds at exact intervals. Sowing depth. In sowing, little if any soil is placed over the seeds. More precisely, seeds can be generally sown into the soil by maintaining a planting depth of about 2 to 3 times the size of the seed. Sowing types and patterns. For hand sowing, several sowing types exist. These include flat sowing, ridge sowing, wide bed sowing. Several patterns for sowing may be used together with these types. These include regular rows, rows that are indented at the even rows. This method is much better, as more light may fall on the seedlings as they come out. Symmetrical grid pattern, using the quincunx pattern described in the Garden of Ceres. Types of sowing. Hand sowing. Hand sowing is the process of casting handfuls of seed over prepared ground, or broadcasting. Usually, a dragger harrow is employed to incorporate the seed into the soil. Though labor-intensive for any but small areas, this method is still used in some situations. Practice is required to sow evenly and at the desired rate. A hand seeder can be used for sowing, though it is less of a help than it is for the smaller seeds of grasses and legumes. Hand sowing may be combined with pre-sowing in seed trays. This allows the plants to come to strength indoors during cold periods. In agriculture, most seed is now sown using a seed drill, which offers greater precision. Seed is sown evenly and at the desired rate. The drill also places the seed at a measured distance below the soil, so that less seed is required. The standard design uses a fluted feed metering system, which is volumetric in nature. Individual seeds are not counted. Rows are typically about 10 to 30 centimeters apart, depending on the crop species and growing conditions. Several row opener types are used depending on soil type and local tradition. Grain drills are most often drawn by tractors, but can also be pulled by horses. Pickup trucks are sometimes used, since little draft is required. A seed rate of about 100 kilograms of seed per hectare is typical, though rates vary considerably depending on crop species, soil conditions, and farmers' preference. Excessive rates can cause the crop to lodge, while too thin a rate will result in poor utilization of the land, competition with weeds, and a reduction in the yield. Open field planting refers to the form of sowing used historically in the agricultural context, whereby fields are prepared generically and left open, as the name suggests, before being sown directly with seed. The seed is frequently left uncovered at the surface of the soil before germinating, and therefore exposed to the prevailing climate and conditions, like storms, etc. This is in contrast to the seed bed method used more commonly in domestic gardening or more specific agricultural scenarios, where the seed is applied beneath the soil surface and monitored and manually tended frequently to ensure more successful growth rates and better yields. Pre-treatment of seed and soil before sowing. Certain seeds first require a treatment prior to the sowing process. This treatment may be seed scarification, stratification, seed soaking, or seed cleaning with cold water. Seed soaking is generally done by placing seeds in medium hot water for at least 24 to up to 48 hours. Seed cleaning is done especially with fruit, as the flesh of the fruit around the seed can quickly become prone to attack from insects or plagues. To clean the seed, usually seed rubbings with cloth paper is performed, sometimes assisted with a seed washing. Seed washing is generally done by submerging cleansed seeds 20 minutes in 50 degrees Celsius water. This water kills any organisms that may have survived on the skin of a seed, especially with easily infected tropical fruits such as lychees and rambutans. Seed washing with high-temperature water is vital. In addition to the mentioned seed pre-treatments, seed germination is also assisted when disease-free soil is used, especially when trying to germinate difficult seed. Prior treatment of the soil is vital. The two most used soil treatments are pasteurization and sterilization. Depending on the necessity, pasteurization is to be preferred as this does not kill all organisms. Sterilization can be done when trying to grow truly difficult crops. To pasteurize the soil is heated for 15 minutes in an oven of 120 degrees Celsius.